What's up, Collective Fam? It's your boy Tony the Toy Rat. Back with another rigorous resin review for new BVC pre-used or previewed. This one's an oldie but a goodie. Never before been opened, fresh from our friends at Diamond Select. We've got a Loki, the Marvel Select brand, from the movie Thor. So this is actually a recut of the original that came out. I think it's got a cooler, more metallic paint. But what we're going to do is open it up and show it to you. One of those things I never do. Open toys. We're going to do it. Stay by. So I don't want to get into a big, long thing about it, but I haven't really opened a toy in a long time. I've been putting them all on the walls and for decor for so long. It's been quite a minute since I stopped to pop one open. So this is actually quite special. This is that Loki from Diamond Select that I had said earlier. And I'm going to try and get this open with surgical precision. I'm going to really use this little knife scalpel tool to get in and around the edges, which I doubt none of you want to see, but I'm going to put it in here and then I'll speed it up or something later on, okay? Let me just indulge me, will you? And now, the scalpel. I'm literally trying to find the edge to get up in there.
Collective fam, the struggle was real to get this damn box open and keep its integrity. I tried as best I could to use the scalpel method and make sure that I can keep the integrity of the box, but it was hard as hell to find an edge that I could cut into and not destroy the outer edge. So that was a problem for me. And I was able to get just one side of it opened, just enough so that I could slip out the plastic casing on the interior side, which actually holds the figure. And that became a thing all by itself. Just trying to get those pieces off, which you will see shortly here. I wish you better luck than I had. This was my issue anyway.
Okay, guys, we got this down to the take out the thingamabobber, whatchamacallits that hold them all together. I'm sure there's an actual name for this. I have no idea what it is. So we're going to very quickly extract with the scissors here.
Oh my God, I had such a problem getting off these little wire holder thingamabobbers that keep the figure in place. You had to twisty tie and twisty tie and twisty untie them until it popped out. But it seemed like it take forever. I was trying to do this with just a little scalpel and the scissors, but that wasn't working at all. So I had to literally use my fingers like you would, like tiny little twisty, 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 twisty until they finally popped out. This is a minor problem, I guess, but it was an inconvenience, and I wish that I didn't have to do it. So there's that.
Okay, after about what feels like 10 minutes of taking off all of these little plastic dealios here and pull him out, we're ready to pull him out of the plastic for the first time. And he comes out nice and easy. I'm going to take the plastic and recycle as much as possible. And here we have, for the first time out of its package, at least here with us, we have the Loki Action figure. So we're going to talk a little bit more about that, get a couple of zoomed in shots. Definitely stop it there. All right, guys, we're just going to get a quick full body spin. Take a look at the Loki Action figure from the movie Thor. Again, this is a Marvel Select, which is owned by Diamond Select. And this particular one is a special collector's edition action figure. So this is a second release. Looks a little different than the original movie release. And we're going to take a look at some of the specifics of what looked different. But first, let's talk about the toy a little bit and what looks right, what doesn't look right, what feels right, how it acts and functions, and all that wonderful stuff. Okay, guys, one more time. This is the Loki Marvel Select from Diamond Select, which is not for the comic book, but for the MCU, directly from the Thor movie. So while it's been out for a little while, I haven't tested it. I'm testing it now, so we're testing it together. So let's take a look at what's cool, what's not cool. I'm going to spin him around. If he happens to fall, that is because he is really tough to be left standing. If you want to move him around or put him on any kind of thing that spins, you're going to need to use that staff you see in his hand there, which I am using as a backstop back here. I'm going to turn around. I'm going to show you guys can see that. Back here, it's actually holding up his weight so he doesn't go falling over. So for someone who wants to display the character outside the box, something to consider. So what's cool about him? Well, there's a lot of cool things about him. First thing is this is the second run of this particular character. And even though he's a special edition, everything about the pose is exactly as the same as the first. What they did different here was the paint job. So the paint job here is now this really cool gold metallic flux for his armor and his helmet. And they are MCU and actually comic book accurate helmet. If you guys don't know, this helmet here, when you see worn by an Asgardian, means that you are a sorcerer or a magic wielder, which obviously Loki is. Okay, so they did a really good job with his original outfit from the film. I'm going to tell you right off, there's something I don't like, and that is the portrait. I mean, for an action figure, it's not very actiony. He's very sort of stoic, locked into a portrait of someone who's getting his picture taken rather than someone who's going into battle. Not sure I love that all that much, but the paint job is fantastic. Additionally, his cape is got this really soft texture to it. Very pliable, very movable. You see this is starting to move in his hand here. His staff is moving in his hand while I'm playing with the cape. It is very pliable. It's not going to go anywhere. It's stuck to his armament at the top really well, but it is making for a nice flowing looking cape. And because they repainted it that sort of metallic-y green, it has more of a realistic look to it this time out than the last. Here's another thing I'm not a huge fan of. You see, he's got his grip holding on to his staff, but it slides out really a lot. So you know, again, I don't know if you plan on actually playing with your action figures. Something to be cognizant, be aware of that is the case there. So a couple of things. Let's pull that out for just a second and take a look at him in his entirety. So a couple of things to make note of right here is one is the joint movement, his articulation. He's got articulation at the shoulder level at both points, and he's got articulation at the elbow level to some degree. You can see that elbow level, but there's none really outside of the turn of the wrist. You can turn his wrist, so that's cool. You can turn his wrist opposite end here, the one that holds the staff, but minimally. So there you go. You can see me turning it here, and you can turn that. So the articulation at the joint for the wrist, articulation at the joint for the elbow, and articulation at the joint for the shoulder, which is all pretty good. So you can maneuver him around a little bit. He's got some good, decent flexibility to him right now. In addition to that, let's take a look at articulation of the leg. So he can turn the leg, twist it up like so, and you'll need to play with this again a lot more if you want him to be standing up or even in an action pose against something else in your collection. And at the joint level for the foot, not too much. I'm not sure you guys can see that. It doesn't move too much through there, but it does have some little limited flexibility. So, cool thing. You want to compare this to something else in this order of magnitude. One of the reasons we love Marvel Select, we love Diamond Select, is because this is kind of for the everyman collector. So this is only $29.99. If you're a fan of Thor, or if you're a fan of the movies, the MCU, Loki in general, which if you haven't watched this show, it's actually really cool and leads into what's happening next for all of the MCU. I would definitely recommend you watching it. Then you have this guy right here, which is, I will say, not from a facial standpoint, Tom Hiddleston accurate, but it gets close enough for me to be able to enjoy the piece and not feel like I got anything sort of diminished by it. All right, so that is the Loki Action figure, $29.99. You can pick that up from both DiamondSelectToys.com and Amazon, and it is a cool piece. It is an action figure I think you should have in your collection, especially if you're a big-time Thor collector. So that's it from Tony the Toy Rack. I am out, and stay tuned because we will be unboxing a few more just like him. Toys a cometh!